What are the legal essentials for startups? What we're talking about today on the eCentral Business Show. I'm John Naylor, joined by Jeremy Streten, author, the Business Legal Lifecycle, lawyer, and informed guy. So now you've taken on the sort of leadership role about informing people, particularly around startups, about what legal steps they need to take to cover the essentials. What sort of things are we talking about?
Yeah, well, firstly, thanks for having me on again.
It's pleasure.
Great to come on and share a lot of what we're doing with the viewers. So probably the four main things that startups get wrong is structure, not getting their structures correctly. If they're leasing premises, not getting their lease reviewed properly. If they're a franchisee, not setting up that franchise stuff properly. And also, one of the other things is spending too much money early on. And one of the big places that people fall down is intellectual property and thinking that they need to spend thousands of dollars early on to protect their IP. So,
I've heard of that happening. Okay. Didn't do that one. All right, so far so good. Now anyway, so let's work through that list then. So talk about structure. Now in my business, sole trader, I'm thinking about becoming a company, but you're saying that should be a considered decision right from the beginning, yeah?
It should be, and it's a decision that you need to make with all of the advice from your accountant, from your lawyer, to make sure that what you set up is right for you. It depends on what the actual right structure for your business is and what your circumstances are as to what structure you should actually use for your business. So getting that right early on is important. There is the ability to change that as you go through your business, and your plan might change. I often talk about you start up with an end in mind. That might change year on year, and so you can change the structure around, but there are tax consequences for changing structures. So you need to make sure that you get the right advice and make sure that the way that you're setting up is correct for your business.
Okay, and yeah, it obviously does change over time. I know that too well. Now talk about leases as well. You say that, do people get themselves stitched up in leases that they can't afford, or with terms, T's and C's that are wrong? Is that what you're talking about there?
Yeah, I think probably the biggest misconception is that there's a thing called a standard lease. In Queensland, we have an REIQ, the Real Estate Institute of Queensland, does give a standard lease for certain tenancies, but commercial leases, there's no two are created equally. There are different terms for different commercial leases depending on which lawyer drafted them. So you can't just assume that I'm given a standard lease, therefore it's okay. You need to make sure that you get someone to read it to make sure that the terms are fair and reasonable for what you're actually entering into. A lease for a Westfield shopping centre is very different to a corner shop, and you need to make sure that the terms of what you're agreeing to are actually done properly. Never assume that you're going to have your lawyer and accountant read it and they'll take care of everything. You need to read it yourself to make sure that the terms are right, because a lawyer and accountant may not know all of your circumstances, as I said before. In fact, they won't know all your circumstances. They may not know everything that you want. A common example would be if you've got a shop, a restaurant, it might have a restriction on you being able to light a flame in there without the permission of the landlord.
Okay, yeah.
Your lawyer or your accountant might miss that, or they might not understand exactly what you're doing in the premises. So you need to make sure that you've read the lease to make sure that it's all fair and reasonable. Yeah. And it's something that people miss out a lot.
Okay, yeah, and I mean, I know from my interaction with tradespeople and that sort of thing, like safety, compliance stuff around going into shopping centres. So if you want to use your favourite tradie to help you out because he's a mate and you have barbecues he might be even able to come into that particular shopping centre because he's not rated for safety.
That's right. And you might need to get approval from the landlord for certain tradies. So you need to make sure all that's covered. And that's the kind of thing that, as a lawyer, I've been doing this for 15 years. I may not know that, and you will know that. So read the document. I can't emphasise that enough. Okay,
so weed through the legal speak and actually get to some sort of level of understanding.
Yeah. And ask questions. Ask your lawyer. Ask your accountant. Ask the advisors around you. To interpret, of course, if you're not sure of it. Leases these days are written more and more in plain English, so hopefully you can understand them, but make sure that, you get the advice when you need it.
Okay, fabulous. All right, conscious of time there. So let's talk about franchise. Franchise agreements, I've heard of occasions where the first up franchise is a bit sort of put together a bit loosely, and that can have ramifications down the track,
Yeah, it's the same with leases, what I said with leases. Make sure you read the document, get advice about the legal and accounting sides of it, but make sure you read it. Because if you don't understand what's in there, again, it's not up to the lawyer or accountant to make sure you understand every single aspect of it. We can't do that. You need to read it, make sure that you understand all of your rights and obligations before you enter into the franchise agreement.
Yeah, because it's a relationship that goes on for a long, long time, in theory as well. If you want to build a successful business, this is the terms and conditions for how you're going to operate for ever, basically.
And you won't own the intellectual property normally in that franchise. So I've seen franchisees who have run franchises for 20 years worked as a job for that 20 years, and then at the end of the day, they've got nothing because they don't own the franchise IP. And so you need to be really aware of what you're getting into. And the only way to do that is to get advice and to read it yourself.
Okay, fabulous. Now let's talk about then, you brought up the very start about the amount of money people do tend to spend on IP coverage or protecting themselves before they've even turned the first wheel, before they've cashed the first check. You think that's something to be considered?
Well, it's actually one of the reasons I built the Business Legal Lifecycle in the beginning was that I recognised that gone are the days when you needed tens of thousands of dollars to start a business. You can start a business with a laptop, an idea, and an internet connection these days.
It's true enough.
And so a lot of startups don't have the money, and in fact most startups don't have the money to spend $10,000 getting all the legal steps right. And one of the big ones is intellectual property. So in the Business Legal Lifecycle, we wait to say protect your IP until phase 5. So after you've got clients, after you've brought on employees, then protect your IP. Make sure you've got a minimum viable product that you know you're going to go forward with. I've got plenty of examples of people who have spent thousands, tens of thousands of dollars protecting IP and then gone, you know what, actually I want to change this. And they had to go through the process again, and it's just a money sucker. And you need every cent, when you start a business, you need every single cent to make sure that you can afford what you need to do.
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying in terms of things in the life cycle, you're saying there is a fairly distinct sequence about as you spin up a business, as you grow a business. Okay, and those steps are fairly commonly. You don't normally do things out of phase.
That's right. We looked at over 5,000 businesses that we'd acted for over. But when I developed that about 12 to 13 years of being a lawyer, and we saw the common things when people did things right and when they did things incorrectly, and we mapped that out, and so that's how we were able to develop that. So there is a common theme for what you need to do. Okay,
and there's obviously much more to it. We've touched on just 4 points today, but you're saying that, I think you opened up with that depends, someone came out there. And so obviously that's where you do need to do some sort of appraisal process, inform yourself, talk to your legal expert, But how do they get more Jeremy Streten?
Excellent question. So we have a website, Business Legal Lifecycle. They can order a copy of the book from that website, or they can go onto Amazon and get that. We put together a special page for our appearance here, busineslegallifecycle.com.au/eCentral. And people can order a copy of the book, or as a gift for watching the show and having me on, they can do a copy of our test, which takes about 10 minutes. It's about 30 questions, and it'll place them in the life cycle. It'll tell them what they need to do, what they've missed from the past, and what they need to do for the future. And that's $95 of value that I'm happy to give viewers a free go at to see what they need to do in their business. Okay, I know what I'm doing this afternoon now. Okay, Jeremy, a really insightful discussion today, and there's 2-part series we've made. I really appreciate you coming and speaking to us. Thanks for having me. That's all right, Jeremy Streten. So that's that book there. The Business Legal Lifecycle, obviously a very good read. It's something for me to look at over the next couple of days. And we'll speak to you next time, the eCentral Business Show. I'm John Naylor. Thank you very much for watching another episode of the eCentral Business Show. What we're doing on the eCentral Business Show is we're bringing you business leaders and the best of the knowledge. We want to bring them on the show and release that content so that that's something that we can share with you by this easy to consume format. So you can follow us across LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Google+, or just regularly visit the eCentral.com.au/show website, pick out the best things for you and educate yourself on that premise. Now there's video content there for you, so you can just watch the video and inform yourself in your own time. We've also now podcasting that content as well, so it's really simple to consume. You can listen to it on the way to work in the car or during your daily exercise regime. Beyond that, we're also looking to connect with business experts. So if you consider yourself to be an expert in your field, please make contact so we can schedule you in and have you come on the show so you can release your content and increase your brand across our format. Beyond that, we also invite people to send us their email address so we can send you our monthly magazine. And that's just the best of the content, the best of the videos for the month, put out once again in an email, arrives in your inbox. So you can just go through and pick out the things that are really going to educate you and advance you in your field of expertise and in business. We're a business-focused show. So thank you very much once again for watching, and we'll see you next time.